I was talking with someone the other day, and AEO to me, it's one of those things that it forces sort of an annual planning level offsite sort of rethinking,
It
right?
does.
Like it used to be whatever September. Well, no, it was like late October because it was supposed to be September, but we ran out of time. And you get everybody together, you're rethinking everything, and you're looking at the numbers, and you're looking at the audiences, and you're looking at the product offering and the roadmap and what's coming. And you have to rethink everything kind
Mhm.
of at that level. And it makes me think about, like, in your engagements. So how often do you see folks needing to, what percentage of the time, or in round figures would you say, do folks have to kind of wind up going all the way back to the positioning, to the ICP, to the kind of the truths they hold to be self-evident in order to find the way, to build the way forward? Is
Yeah,
that typical? Do that they, or is it more
I think
about
a lot
like
of that's
what
happening
you
right
got?
now.
Everybody empty your
Yeah.
pockets. Okay, use this, use that.
I think a lot of that is happening right now. 2026 is an interesting year. I don't think anybody can debate that, right? There are a lot of reorganizations that are happening across the tech space. And it's, there's a lot of inquiry and people trying to figure things out. In some cases, organizational decisions have been delayed because of the dust that hopefully is settling. I think that seems to be kind of shifting a little bit in the near term. And then you've got all of these new organizations that want to go to market very, very quickly, but they don't know who they're marketing to. So back to the strategy, I think there is this, whether it's a large organization or a small organization, there is a race to adopt the technology from an efficiency perspective, or let's get to market faster, or let's try and serve that much more content, or this many more versions of the content, whether it be industry or persona. And looking at some of the fundamentals is, I think that's going to be kind of on deck real soon here for a lot of different organizations that need to really do a little self reflection in terms of, is our core audience our core audience? What problems do they have in this AI landscape? How do we fit into that? Can we evolve with them? Do we need to think, completely new and different from a product perspective? And so I think a lot of that, if it's not happening already, is pretty much on deck. After this whole kind of operational efficiency little wave that we've had over the last year.
Right, right. And I'm just going to stop there because I think that's, yeah, you can edit this out. Spence, yeah, I'm not gonna sprue us one more time on that. Um, yeah, okay. Well, there's another very pragmatic issue is just the economics of last year or so. In the last year,
Yes.
hey man, you don't have to hire some manager level
Uh-huh.
person. We got agents now. What are you doing? These boards, these management teams. Our marketing leaders are trying to get somebody hired, a junior officer hired, and it's like, what are you doing, man? Just use agents. And so they pile up all these agents, and now the meter has been running on that for a little while.
Yes.
And so what do you see in your clients around, because the idea is like, yeah, man, we'll just automate these people away. By the way, also wrecking a lot of entry level career paths, et cetera, et cetera. Don't have to worry about that. Let's do 2026. We'll worry about that later. But now these agents are starting to, the tokens are stacking up. Do
That's
you
right.
see people wrestling with that already?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm having conversations with strategic leaders and CFOs that are wrestling with this from a forecasting perspective, and you've got development teams that are also looking at this from how the model consumes different levels of tokens or energy. So you know that last Claude update, I think it was to Opus. This was the one that sort of started making the headlines in terms of the cost of deploying these things, because although technically the cost per token came down, it was so much more it was smarter, right? So it was actually chewing through more of those tokens every time it gave you a response. So that changed the dynamics significantly if you're using that, say, in an organization or even at a team level. And then if you are running agents that are based on that solution and it goes up dramatically. I was listening to a webinar, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and the development team was just talking about sort of being able to fail over between models, whether it be, a model is updated and then an agent doesn't do, it might be smarter, but it's not performing the way that it had been orchestrated to perform. Or if there's an outage, which has happened in the past, do you switch from Claude to ChatGPT as a failover? And so you've got all of these different kind of technological things that are happening on the agent side, and then the CFOs just trying to figure out how to afford it. And meanwhile, you've got these agents that are kind of racking up expenses that are potentially more than a full-time employee. And so I think there's going to be a little bit more of a pendulum swing back to the center around building sort of the combination teams of AI plus human, but leaning a little bit more into the human aspect to be able to both mitigate that. And I'm sure that there's also going to be, some course correction from over reliance on AI, especially just given the former hallucination rate. I have, a suspicion that some of the things that have been pushed out quickly to be competitive may not have been the ideal, move to make. So I think some of that's going to be corrected here soon as well.